side also hanging well back from the start fence. Seems a little bit crazy to do that. That's the South African on the far side. Both South Africans lined up side by side. But it's Lizzie Broughton. Great start from her.
Vanda Kisley. And Vanda Kisley also a great start. And of course in the yellow boat there, Renate Shea.
And Lise Brooks also well up there with the big guns, but it's Renate Zay leading. Jenny Egan on her side wash.
And Elena Tereshkova from Russia on the left-hand side, on the far left-hand side. She is choosing a straight route and will probably try to get on the wash of Renate Shea there.
So yellow boat is Renate Zay. Green boat, Christina Bedek. On the far side, Jenny Egan, 463. Tucked in the back there. Not sure, could be Kisley maybe. We'll see any minute now. Yep, that's Kisley and Lise Brooks. They're the front five. Then you've got Lizzie Broughton in the red boat. And to her right in the white will probably be maybe Eve Haas. We've got another black boat this side, South African. That's going to be Nicole Russell or Bianca Bivit. I'll get a number for you as soon as I can. So Lizzie Broughton in there. We've got Spain also on that far side. That's going to be Eva Barrios.
It's Lise Brooks there, the Belgian on the outside, and riding the middle wash is Vanda Kisley. Vanda, who did a fantastic race yesterday in the K1 Women Under 23.
I think a very measured race, Stefan. I think she was more aware of this race this year than she was last year. I think this is the one. We saw her in the Europeans really doing the damage on the first half of that race in the Europeans. And I think she wants to do well in this one. There's Jenny Egan, tracking Renate Zay, Christina Bedok. We haven't yet seen Koziskova. She's not in the front 6 or 7.
We have seen that happen before. Remember last year when she came from somewhere far behind and just went to the top and took the gold medal.
So we've got Nicole Russell there, Lizzie Broughton, Eva Barrios. There's a head-on shot. Very hard to see from the head-on shot who's where, but you can see how the groups are forming, where the people want to be. On the far side there, Anna Koziskova, she's making her way forward. She's in the purple boat right on the far side of your picture. Nicole Russell, would like to have seen how she got to that position. She's done very well to be there. And yet again, another really packed, really busy race. Anna Koziskova gradually moving up on that right-hand side. She's going to try and come around Lise Brooks any minute. You can see the bow of her boat. She's just coming up to Lise Brooks now. We saw how strong she was, Anna Koziskova, on the second half of last year's race. So they're approaching the turn for the first time. I think the other white boat at the back of the shot is probably Barrios. The speed goes up just a little into the turn. Just gives you a little bit of security if the group's strung out. It'll be Jenny Egan, who has to work very hard around this turn. She needs to move up a little bit on Zay there. So Jenny's working hard on the outside. She needs to stick with this. The washes will change after the turn, almost certainly. Kisley's in trouble there. She's got pushed out the back. It's going to be Nicole Russell who gains the most from that. But no, Jenny Egan's the one. She's going to cut inside. She may get inside and onto the side wash of Renate Zay. And if Russell comes up to the side of Beddock after this, Jenny Egan is sitting pretty, at least for now. Anna-Mia Pretzman just off the back of that group. But it's Beddock doing the damage. Egan looking safe for now at least. She did incredibly well to come from the outside of Zay, get to the inside and still be safe there. It's a good sign for her. She's feeling strong. She'll be hoping that somebody comes up her left and gives her that fourth wash. But for now, Beddock, very strong at the front. Bedek, sorry, not Beddock. So Kisley making her move up to the side of Zay.
You can see Che glancing over her shoulder for her teammate. Making sure she's there, and then she...
Jenny Egan slips neatly onto the back of Shay's boat. Everything's falling into place for her now. It's Zay taking it on. That's nightmare for Lizzie Broughton, who was just making some inroads onto this group. Now away goes Zay.
The perfect tactics. We saw Renate glancing over her shoulder for her teammate, and when she was on her wash, she increased the speed immediately. Very good teamwork there.
Away go these four. I'd like to see how close the others are. The chaser there is Nicole Russell. She's stuck with it. And there's the front group. Looks like Lizzie Broughton made it back. It's still Koziskova who's struggling.
Yes.
She's still struggling, but she's going to bring back second South African, Bianca Bivit there. And
we have seen Koziskova doing this many times. Maybe she's...
And away goes Zay again. Who's going to tuck in behind it? It looks like Jenny Egan again. Jenny Egan's getting the best of this. So it's Beddock, Kisley, Zay, and Jenny Egan. They're the secure ones. Everyone else is fighting for what's left.
Immediately when Renate takes the lead, the speed increases. It doesn't look like she's paddling fast, Renate Che. It's so nice, so smooth, but the speed increases immediately. She is always looking for her teammate, Wanda Kisley, and they intend to help each other. That's pretty clear.
It definitely looks like that from here, yep. Absolutely. It's Nicole Russell has been the one to suffer from all that.
Nicole Russell, that is a very experienced river racer. She finished the Berg Marathon previously this year, the famous long-distance South African river race. Jenny Egan managed this very, very good.
Jenny Egan straight round. Vanda Kisley rather too slow to drop round. You have to drop back as the new leader goes up so that you get to the tail of the boats at the same time as the new leader passes the old leader. The two tails are level, you must be at the back then. That way you don't have a wave to climb. If you leave it like Kisley did, there's a big wave to climb to get back into that V.
And the speed is higher.
So there's the front group. Jenny Egan really getting a fantastic ride there. Being tucked in the back behind those three other girls. Just get balked a little bit there. I don't think that'll phase us. Just a case of getting around the turn, regrouping. After the turn, maybe Renate Zay will take her pull. Bedek seems to be struggling getting around the corner slightly there. Imagine now with the wind, Renate Zay will go. Jenny Egan has to come up her right. Bedek's going round and Kisley falls back into the V. And there in the background, you see Koziskova still chasing them down.
You could see how the speed increased immediately when Renate came there. She don't want Koziskova on her wash once again. It will be very interesting to watch her the first portage.
It's tough on the side there for Jenny Egan. It's an easy ride so far. Just a little bit harder work now. But more than up to the job. It's Vanda Kisley. You see the big, strong leg against the wind there. Has been rewarded with a rest.
Kosiskova, who had a bronze medal in Pontevedra at Europeans, told me then that it was the first marathon for her for many months, because she was heading for the qualification for the Olympics, but didn't qualify, and then was doing all she could to get fit for marathon once again. But she had a bronze medal at the Europeans, and Wanda Kisley had a silver medal, and Renate Shea had a gold. Lizzie Broughton was actually fourth positioned there.
Lizzie Broughton has so many fourth positions in her career, Stefan. It makes uncomfortable reading. They finished fourth in the K2 so many times, her and Faye Lamp, and it's just...
What was interesting at the Europeans was that Kisley and Shea went together, and only at the last big lap, Renate went through it. Her winning gap was 40 seconds, and then it was 2 minutes down to Kosiskova, and another minute to Lizzie Broughton, who were then together with Stefania Chikali, who is also somewhere here. No, Chikali is only doing K2, that's right.
Group change in there. Jenny came round. Looks like the Hungarians planned to do a lead and then drop to the V. You kind of earned your right to have the rest if you've done a good strong lead. So in theory, it's Jenny Egan's turn next. It'll be interesting to see if she joins in the rotation, or whether the other three girls have talked this through and they're working together without Jenny. Jenny Egan moving to the left-hand side of the pontoon.
And Kosiskova is not far away. She's doing all she can now to get as close as possible and try to run fast over the portage and maybe close the gap there.
We know Renate Shea is so clean and so tidy on these portages. Wanda Kisley, she did well yesterday, no mistakes for her. Jenny Egan has to come round her. She'll get out. Jenny maybe caught a little on the running. She needs to get out fairly quickly, grab the boat and go. They're all together, but Kosiskova is just behind them. Lizzie Broughton runs very well with her boat. She stands a chance of closing. Kosiskova not too quick out of her boat. It's Lizzie Broughton who's going to get out first. At the front, it's Bedek and Kisley. So Bedek and Kisley. Jenny Egan just behind them, and just bringing in the back of that four is Renate Shea before she can relax a little. And the gap between the first and second group expanded over that portage, and you would have thought the second group there could have capitalised on the work they've done and maybe closed a little.
It was 17 seconds between these two groups at the end of the portage.
So at the front of the women's race, Jenny Egan survived a little bit of stress at the beginning of this lap. Bedek taking it out. Kisley tracking her. Shea tucks in the V-wash.
The second group has not lost contact. They are there 50, 60 meters behind. So it seems like the first group is just keeping the speed high enough to keep them off.
That second group, they seem to have the cruising speed, but any change of speed, there doesn't seem to be anyone in that second group that can match a change of speed, which is what these girls in the front group do have, Kisley and Shea specifically. There goes Jenny Egan, looks like she is going to take her turn on the front. It's a wise move from her, even if it doesn't last long, this lead. It gives her the right to get tucked back in the V. And it's Lizzie Broughton leading the chase in the background.
For the first time, Jenny Egan in front. Of course, they will force her to do some work as well. I think she is as eager as anyone not to let the second group come too close.
Through goes Renata Zay, Jenny Egan, perfect timing. She gets to sit on the V while Renata Zay leads.
And
Bedek comes up the right, Kisley on the left. And now for Jenny, it's a case of really getting the heart rate back down, getting a bit more drink in.
It's interesting. Bedek also experienced enough and cool enough to catch the wash a little bit more aft than Wanda. We often see that experienced paddlers that have enough confidence to stay at the wash exactly at the tipping point.
And you see Jenny at the back there. I was talking about Renata letting your hands and your shoulders drop. You can see Jenny has let her shoulders and her hands drop there. She's making the most of her opportunity. She'll be cursing Kisley for being further up, so she has to sit nearer slightly to Bedek than to Kisley, rather than directly between the two of them, just because that's the way the waves shape forms when somebody's further forward than somebody else. So she'll be...
But Kisley is losing some energy being...
Yeah, a little bit too far up there. She could relax a little more. Renata Zay piling into the portage this time.
You're now done 10 kilometers.
Pick the boat up. She seems to have water in there.
Yeah.
The front of the boat went down straight away. She's got, maybe that's just the wind coming from the side. The waves lap over the side of the boat slightly. But it's Kisley and Bedek away. They've got a few lengths on Jenny Egan and Renata Zay. The second group are out now. First out in the second group is Koziskova. Second out is Broughton, who's running ahead of Koziskova now. Renata Zay lost a little bit of ground. Back of your shot there. There's Broughton. There's Koziskova. Lise Brooks and Eva Barrios from Spain. It's Kisley.
Once again, Kisley first over the portage. Where's Renate? There she is. She lost a couple of boat lengths now. Once again, it will be Renate and Jenny Egan. Renate really lost some ground here. Maybe her pump is not working properly. They use foot pumps.
Now, if you were Jenny Egan, Stefan, what would you do? Personally, I would wait for Renata.
Yeah.
Renata is going to close that gap at some stage. And for Jenny, she can work really hard for the next 5 minutes. And then Renata catches her.
Wanda Kisley is really going for it now. She's looking over her shoulder there. Where is her teammate?
Only 20 seconds of gap, which was the same as the last lap. But that gap, I think, has opened a little bit. Renata Zay is not making ground, Stefan.
No. And Koziskova, once again, quite a bad, poor portage.
So I would have waited for Renata Zay there if I was Jenny Egan, but I think now, with a little bit of hindsight, Jenny's made the right decision.
Yes.
Renata Zay may not get back to this group. Renata Zay's back there. She closed the gap eventually. It didn't look comfortable for her. But then I would, the Europeans, I wrote her off after 2 laps as well. I said that Kisley had the better of her, and I was wrong there. In fact, I've been wrong an awful lot of times watching these races. But that doesn't deter me from giving an expert opinion. You don't have to be right in this
It's our job.
That's the beauty of it.
Exactly.
So it's Bedek leading in this time. Jenny Egan making her way round, as she should. Renata Zay coming into that portage third on that side. I mean, that doesn't happen, does it? So she's not happy. She hasn't had to empty her boat this time, though. It's Jenny Egan who's pulled the handle off the side of her boat. She's not going to be happy with that. It's going to frustrate her immensely. In fact, Jenny's in a lot of trouble now because these girls run hard, and we know that Kisley's going to leave the portage hard, and Jenny Egan's lost at least 5 lengths on these with that little bit of mishap there. The handle just pulled through on her boat, and she is in a lot of trouble now. It's Lizzie Broughton, I think, who's hunting Jenny down now. So it's Kisley from Bedek, from Zay. Jenny Egan looking desperate, really desperate in fourth position. She needs to get out within 3 or 4 lengths of these people. Lizzie Broughton just 2 or 3 lengths down on Jenny Egan. Jenny's not even run to the end of the landing stage, and she's still in trouble, and Lizzie Broughton is going to come out of this portage with Jenny, maybe even in front of her, and that's so sad for the Irish team.
A very clever move there of Lizzie, running to the end of the pontoon and getting on the water just in front of Jenny.
So, tough moments for Jenny Egan. She has to regroup now. It's a different task for her. She's with Lizzie Broughton, but the group behind will close her. It'll be a group of 5, and that's an uncomfortable sized group to be having. It's a very open site here. There's not a lot of hiding places if you're out there being a spectator. You've got the stand, the cover, but that is hammering down there.
And now they are working together, they are talking to each other, and now they are doing very, very short turns each to keep up the speed. It doesn't look like the speed is very high, but it is. It is. And Bedok is suffering now. Bedok is really, really suffering. You see Renate is shouting on Kisley, come on, do some work.
Kisley having a look back. Why would you look back at this stage, Stefan? The race is gone. It's only these 2. Does that tell you Kisley's feeling a little bit tired, maybe?
Exactly.
Weighing up the options if things don't go well.
You can see Renate shouting at her, come on, do your part of the job. There she's doing that. Yeah.
The expectation is on Kisley.
And now Kisley is forced to do it. Lots of tactics going on here. I don't think Kisley dare to refuse to do some hard work here now.
It's just measuring everything out now, Stefan. How much energy you've got left, how much you dare spend, how much you can get away with not spending.
Exactly.
Still not being in trouble.
Yeah.
And it's just, the margins are so fine at this stage for these 2. There's nothing between them. Just lapping 4, 6, 7 there. That's Losa from Argentina. So in a shot like that, you see how good these 2 are. Rotazay taking a few big deep breaths there. She's having to regroup. Kisley looking pretty strong to me. This is going to be some last portage. So here these 2, they separate for the portage for the last time. It's Zay versus Kisley, young versus old. And it's Zay first there, quite a lot earlier than Kisley. Zay out and away, Kisley out. It's 2 lengths between them now. Zay running, and running well, but Kisley's going to close her down, I think.
Just 1,000 meters more to go. Here they are. The final decisive portage. Renate Che and Wanda Kisley. Well together.
It's going to be a tough last 1,000 meters mentally for both these girls. They both look pretty tired running under us. I mean, that's fairly obvious. I guess they've done 22k already, but you know, you couldn't pick one.
Side by side into the water.
It's going to be Zay in the boat first. Going to have a couple of lengths, I think. A bit slow away. Just 1 length lead over Kisley. And both together. And I think Zay, from this point, won't let Kisley in front.
This was
if
mental.
She can help it.
This was all mental.
Through comes Bedek on her portage. She'll be very relieved when she looks back at the turn and sees the chase group quite a long way back now. She's safe in third. And Zay still got a length and a bit lead over Kisley. And it's going to be tough out there There goes Bedek from the portage, just leaving shot on the left-hand side.
42 seconds behind.
Kisley, they're back together again now.
Renate tried to increase the speed good enough to get rid of Wanda, but she came back. And now she's on the wash on the inner side. Quite clever for the last turn. 1,000 meters more to go, and this will be a close call.
And we've just been brought some biscuity treats to get us through this last 750 meters.
We definitely need that.
There's only one really chocolatey one in the middle, so I'm going to have that. Lizzie Broughton, just a little stumble at the beginning of the portage there. Jenny Egan running through. This is the last portage for these girls. This is for 4th place, the battle in this group. Lise Brooks bringing up the rear of that group, as she has on every single portage. Anna Kaziskova also towards the back of that group. There goes Lizzie Broughton. There goes Jenny Egan. These two are going to be first in. Then it's Barrios from Spain. Kaziskova looking troubled at the back. Lise Brooks relaxed. But it's Broughton from Egan, from Barrios, from Kaziskova. Broughton away. Barrios second away. Jenny Egan third away. Looks like she's tired. Heads down, arms are down. She's going to have trouble catching Broughton from here. Little gaps are opening now in this group. Broughton's away. She's set off with intent. And there
they are.
It's Renate Shea. She's not going to let Kisley through. If Kisley comes through, I'd say it's Kisley's race from here.
It's quite rough up there now. They need to manage the wind and the waves and their tired bodies around this final turn.
Here we go. We're coming in. Soon see the first boy of the turn. It's Renate Zay.
I don't think Renate will lose the initiative now. She really wants to keep it.
She can't afford to lose the initiative now. It's just too hard to. She's cutting those boys fine.
She shouldn't go now. She should really try for it now. Vanda Kisley is not on the wash anymore.
She just squeezed Kisley into those boys enough to gain a length. And it's an important length because Kisley has one wave to climb to get back in contact with Zay now.
Looking over her shoulder, realizing that she has a boat length now with 500 meters more to go.
The nose to tail now. Kisley wouldn't choose to be there. So it looks like Zay's in charge of this race.
Renate will stay that speed until she maybe see Kisley trying to get over the wash.
I think she can just squeeze the pressure on if Kisley comes over the wash.
Exactly.
And that will take the final sprint out of Kisley. It looks like this is Zay's race from here. Just 300 meters to go now. And it's Zay from Kisley. I think there's nothing Kisley can do now. She's stuck on the tail end of Zay's boat. She's looking at the back of the gold medal. That gap might even be stretching. Kisley might be going backwards here. She is. There's a good gap. There's a gap of boat length, maybe even 2 between them.
And it's increasing stroke by stroke. The incredible Renate Shea once again.
She just can squeeze on that speed to a point where the others can't keep up. She's got a clear boat length between the two of them.
But it's not over yet. You can see from her face that she's suffering as well.
Kisley now, maybe closing that gap slightly. But it's too much of a gap for her to close down before the finish. It's Zay all the way.
She's looking over her shoulder. It's just 100 meters more to go. It will be Renate Shea. Once again, Renate Shea, the incredible Renate Shea, the Queen of Marathon, is having another gold medal, world champion 2016, Renate Che, and silver to Hungary by Wanda Kisley. And Renate is so happy to bring home the gold medal to Hungary once again after Kosciuszko had it last year.
I think the happiness there was as much relief as it was happiness, Stefan. I think halfway around that race she was questioning it a little bit.
Absolutely so.
It's so strong, so strong in the second half. Again, just as she was at the Europeans. At the Europeans, I'd written her off at halfway. She looked weak at halfway in this race, and then all of a sudden, she changes that balance of power. She's back in control of the race, and just so impressive.
Where does she get her strength from in the far end of the race? It's incredible.
I'd love to answer you, Stefan, but I'm eating.
And Christina Belloc, having done very well, staying with these two Hungarians all through the race until the final lap. It's really suffering during that final lap, but now bringing home the bronze medal to her.